Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry here at the Everything Anime Podcast, talking from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and a relevant topic of what I'm talking about. Today's video is on Tokyo Ghoul chapters 14 to 15. Not sure what I'm going to title it yet. These chapters are pretty old. I'm actually up to chapter 35, but I kind of stopped. There was a lot going on. I think I had went home for like Thanksgiving break or something like that. I just haven't been able to review anything. And then, I was working on Bioshock, which took like a long time. And then I was working on Epic Mickey, working on a secret project for Christmas. And now we got Christmas break coming up. So getting them out as fast as I can. So probably be heavily relying on my notes for this one. But when the chapter opens up, we find out that the paranormal investigators or ghoul hunters work at the CCG. I think they said what it was called. I might have it in my notes, but I'm not sure. But I know like that's basically what it works. And it's like known, like this is known where paranormal investigators work. So again, in this universe, like ghouls and paranormal investigators, it's just a normal thing. And again, it's like if vampires and werewolves just existed and humans knew about it, and we had like fucking monster hunters out there. A building right down the street, like, hey, I saw this werewolf over here. Can you go kill it? I saw this vampire down the street. Can you go stab him in his coffin or something? It's so normalized, which is why it's weird to like in the beginning of this manga that Kaneki and Hyde were kind of skeptical, or at least Kaneki was. Hyde was a full believer. So, also, I'm not really sure how important this is, but Kaneki walks in on Hinami eating and going full ghoul mode. Of course, this freaks him out, even though he works at a cafe surrounded by ghouls. I think what more freaked him out was that he walked in on a ghoul eating. I think he's not comfortable with seeing a ghoul eat. Or maybe it's like Hinami in general, because like the way he kind of talks to her, it's kind of like she's a child. I mean, I guess she is, but like these ghouls could be like hundreds of years old for all we know. I mean, I'm sure they age and whatnot. As you have like a mother ghoul, daughter ghoul, they got old man ghoul. But like, I don't know. What are the rules? Are the ghouls die natural ages? I don't know. I mean, I know like vampires, you're the age forever. But I'm not sure how it is with ghouls. I don't know the rules of that yet. I mean, I imagine ghouls are immortal. I don't see how a ghoul would just like die of old age, but who knows? Anyways, one of his employees or managers asked him to go back and apologize, and when he does, she asks, which are you? Obviously asking, are you a ghoul or a human? To which Kaneki replies, his soul is human, but his body is out of a ghoul. Which, again, that's why I'm like, this has to be like a slice of life anime / manga. Think of Assassination Classroom. Like Assassination Classroom, its whole thing is like killing their teacher, which is an alien. But every day, it's like lessons that they're learning, like to be better students, better killers also, because like they're still trying to assassinate him every episode. But like it's, even though it's episodic, it's like very like he cares about the students and you can tell that they care about him. And I'm not going to spoil Assassination Classroom. This is not Assassination Classroom review. But yeah, check out Assassination Classroom if you have not. It is, I got into it way too late, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, my nephew. Fucking amazing. But yeah, it's giving me a slice of life, because as I said, I have yet to feel like an overarching story in Tokyo Ghoul so far. I mean, it is still pretty early, but I mean, we're like only 256 chapters, and I'm 35 chapters in, and I've yet to see like an overarching story so far. It's okay if it's a slice of life. I'm alright with that, but I'm just like wondering, like, is it gonna be like an arch nemesis, like an enemy we have to defeat? Like, comparisons to Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone's 205 chapters, but we've had arcs. We're trying to rebuild civilization. We have enemies to defeat, stuff like that, if you're watching my Dr. Stone videos. But again, I'm just getting a slice of life vibe, which is not wrong. I'm still enjoying Tokyo Ghoul for what it is. But anyways, it doesn't sound like this answer has satisfied either of them, like Hinami or Kaneki, and it gets awkward pretty quickly. Kaneki then notices that she's reading a book because he loves books, and he starts naming off random genres, hoping to make some small talk. We know from like chapter 1 that Kaneki is a bookworm. That's why Rise was attracted to him, or he was attracted to Rise, vice versa. Also, it said in the first episode of the anime that like his dad was an author and he died. And that's why he loves reading. It's not said in the manga so far, and if it was, I skipped over it. or glossed over it in my mind. But yeah, I feel like that's an important detail if it was not mentioned already, that Kaneki's father was not there. He died, and that's why Kaneki's drawing the books. And saying that Hinami likes books too, he's like, oh, this is something we can connect on. Despite how it looks at first, she's not enjoying, but she actually seems to open up and smile at him. Like, it seems like she might be uncomfortable, but like, she's growing more fond of Kaneki. There's something like, she comes up like this child, like this like seeing him as an older brother figure or something like that. And it also turns out that she's actually trying to learn to read because her mother doesn't allow her to go to human school, because we know like her and her mother, like they are at Auntie Iku to, you know, get human meat for themselves because they can't hunt for themselves, and we learn about why later. But this further emphasizes what the story said about them when we first met them, as I said, because they can't hunt for themselves, but they also have a hard time blending in with humans, which is why the mother keeps the daughter away from them. She doesn't want her daughter getting exposed, and then paranormal investigators coming after them. And I guess I'll say it now. I think I said it in a different video, or we learned it in this video. But basically, their father, or Hinami's father / her mother's husband, was killed. He was a provider by a paranormal investigator. We learned which one as well. And you know, so they've been in hiding, and because like they don't have their provider, they don't have that male figure to fight for them. You know, they rely on someone else getting food for them, and like trying to blend in with just other ghouls. Like don't even get too much attention from other ghouls, because we learned that some ghouls are cannibals. At least they'll eat other ghouls themselves. And then Kaneki seems to be like her sole source of a friendship bond, or as I said, like a brother bond, because he teaches her how to act more human. Because Kaneki is or was a human, he doesn't have to act. He knows how to blend in. He just has to learn to eat human food again, which tastes like horse shit to him now because that ghoul DNA inside of him. Yeah, so then we learn the mother is afraid of attacking humans, so that's why they are afraid to hunt for themselves. Again, I've already spoiled that, but that's just in my notes. Like, she's afraid to attack humans. But it is, like I said, it's explained why. But, yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like their development is cut short as well, because just after becoming friends with Kaneki, the mother and Hinami run into paranormal investigators. And I was like, I thought they would kill them both. That would be pretty drastic in the story, but it makes more sense that Hinami would survive because he's building a relationship between Kaneki and Hinami, and it makes more sense for the mother to be killed. But at the time, I was thinking like, okay, both of them are gonna die, and like this is one of those anime, like a Kami got killed, where we just kill off the characters one right after another. And in act of desperation, the mother goes into protective mode and reveals her true self while telling her daughter to run. I actually love this. I love the mother. Like, I feel like any parent would sacrifice their lives to save a kid, and I've heard amazing stories about stuff like that. But yeah, that motherly instinct kicked in. She's like, I was afraid of humans, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna protect my daughter. You're not gonna get my daughter. You got my husband. You're not getting my daughter, and maybe not even getting me. But I think she knew she wasn't gonna win this fight. Before we find out what happens, though, we flash over to Kaneki, who's leaving his job when he overhears two people talking about their encounter with a ghoul. And again, they talk about it so casually. They're not afraid. They're just like, oh, did you see that ghoul? Ooh, they look like humans. How scary. And they just go back to talking, like, not running away, not panic in their eyes. That's what I mean. Like, I'd be freaking out. If I saw a goddamn vampire on the street drinking somebody's blood, teeth red, fangs, eyes red, wings out his back, I would be running and screaming like, bitch, that's a vampire over there. I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's a vampire back there. Oh, that's scary. It's so casual for it. It's just so weird. Oh man, and in my notes I even said, like, it's just like I said, seeing like I said a coyote in the middle of the city, like, you know, because a coyote will also attack humans, but using a monster metaphor is better, because seeing a coyote in the city, we would probably just act normal, like, oh, that's weird, and like call pest control or whatever. But like a monster, no, I would be freaking the fuck out. I feel like anybody would. We then flash back over to the battle, and the mother seems to be like a moth or butterfly, and her kagune, which is the name of the powers that ghouls can use, I finally figured out the name. She used it, but she lost. Like, there's like holes in her wings and whatnot, because she's not adept at fighting, especially not paranormal investigators. So it's clear why she lost. Again, the father was the provider, and he probably was more powerful than her. She probably was just like never had to fight a human. She had him. The two hunters prepare to unveil a secret weapon in a suitcase, which at the time I wasn't sure what it was. I know what it is. Unless it's in this notes, I don't want to jump ahead. I want you guys that are reading with me to be with me in this. But the mother is terrified of it, and I love the way the paranormal investigators seem like the antagonist in this situation, especially the way he draws the darkness around them in like this like monstrous form. Because in a sense, the paranormal investigators are the heroes. Like, not in this universe where Tokyo Ghoul, the Ghouls / Kaneki is a good guy. But, like, if Ghouls existed, yeah, we'd be team paranormal investigators. But the way this story wants us to root for these Ghouls, root for Kaneki, root for Hinami, root for Takuya, root for Mr. Yoshimura, Yomo, all these other Ghouls, it flips the script and makes the paranormal investigators look like monsters. Like they're the bad guys. It makes them look like they're evil. And that's why I love this, like, twist of how he makes them look like they're terrifying. But I somehow figured that Kaneki would show up and save the mother because, like, obviously, like, we're flashing back and forth between them. That isn't what happens, but I kind of expected it, like that hero out of nowhere, guy sensei, dynamic entry moment. But Hinami runs into Kaneki's arms, and again, I was more implying that Kaneki would save the day. And it reestablishes also that she trusts Kaneki. Like, she's like, I like him. She likes him, whether as a brother or a friend figure, and she's like, hey, please help me save my mom. Unfortunately, though, he does make it to the mother, but not in time. Kaneki has still never fought before, and he still doesn't know anything about these paranormal investigators. So all he does is hide with Hinami, and despite she calls out for her mother, getting the attention of the paranormal investigators, they kind of don't seem to like pay attention to her. Well, they already know that she had a daughter because she told her daughter to run. So her calling out for her mother wouldn't be too much of a surprise for her unless they never saw her. Then that'd be different. Then they would turn around. Her mother begins to say something like it could be I love you. It could be like I'm sorry. It could be like anything. I assumed it's going to be I love you. But like the villain he's trying to portray these investigators out to be, she doesn't get to say the last words. I did not expect that at all. I expected her to say I love you or something, but she's like smiling as they cut her head off. It's fucking insane. And again, it just more and more makes these paranormal investigators look like the bad guys. Like, imagine the story from Orochimaru's perspective. Like, it's called Orochimaru instead of Naruto. And like Naruto's portrayed like the bad guy when he goes Naruto Fox mode on Orochimaru and Orochimaru looking terrified. Like, imagine the flip script like that. And though Kaneki couldn't save her, he shielded Hinami's eyes from seeing it. One, so she wouldn't have to see her mother die in front of her, and then two, because Kaneki is just like a good guy like that. And that's where I ended my notes. I thought that was pretty crazy. I do know what happens next. Like I said, I'm up to chapter 35, but I don't want to go ahead because I want to stay with you guys in this speculation again. After what happens with this, it's still a slice of life. There's not really a war between the paranormal. I mean, there is an implied war coming, but I'm not feeling that grandiose, like, oh shit, a war is coming, especially this early. But anyways, that's all for this video. Let me know guys what you think in the comments. Are you enjoying Tokyo Ghoul? What's your thoughts on Tokyo Ghoul? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are two. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red Will Reign Over Your House, Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school because, of course, he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love BK's right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.